bom, os voluntários estão fortalecendo muito o nosso grupo. A gente, apesar que foi pouco tijolo, né? Foi 600 tijolos, foi rápido a quebra, mas esse bloco aqui, que é daqui mesmo de Nova York, todos eles foram pintados por voluntários. Tem alguns que eu pergunto se já foi no Brasil, alguns nunca foram no Brasil e alguns nem sabiam sobre favela. A gente tem que explicar o que é uma favela. Ah, a favela é um gueto, como aqui no... Aqui eles falam gueiro, né? Gueiro. Mas não é uma favela, aqui é tudo apartamento. Lá não, lá é casas mesmo, de tijolo. A gente mesmo constrói as nossas casas na comunidade. Aqui não, aqui eles já pegam os apartamentos prontos, eles só moram, mas depende da região, a região que se determina o gueto.
It'd be cool to actually visit one of these, at some point, It's too bad it's so far away, but, just looking at the pictures, seeing the favelas and everything, it seems like a pretty awesome thing to see. And I think there's a lot of similarities, really. I sort of think that you associate criminal lifestyle generally with sort of poor neighborhoods here in New York City, sort of drug use, domestic violence, aggression. These are just general things that sort of think of when you think about poor neighborhoods. And because I have just sort of a lack of information of what would be like, what someone would be like coming from a poor neighborhood in Rio de Janeiro, I sort of expected that same thing, except even worse. I think it was Silan that said that he tries to bring out the positive aspects of life in the favelas and not focus on the negative so much. And I think that's a really good way of sort of summing it up, is to focus on just trying to create, just designing the individual favelas and, just sort of viewing it from that far away removed perspective. And it has very great beauty to it, I find.
I like the idea that people from another country are coming and they're trying to not just show what Brazil is about, soccer and the carnival and the good weather and everything else, but they want to show more, mostly like what is to really live there, and that's what the favelas are about. How they live every day in there, how everything, their life is surrounded around that thing, about the favelas. So I really like the idea of that. I had no idea what favela was until I actually got involved in the project, and also the movies from yesterday. It was like an opening. It was like a new thing that came to me.
It's awesome that you guys made it out, or you didn't live in the favelas, but that they all are sort of, traveling the world, even though they're going back to live in the favelas. It still is really awesome that they sort of transcended that, that sort of, I guess, poverty that they sort of came out of, through this art. They sort of took it and actually did something with it, and are here, in New York City. And so I just think that's such an awesome thing, and I'm really glad for them, It's really awesome.
I've had a lot of fun working with the guys. I guess my first day, what I had to do was just observe what was going on, because you don't really get an understanding until you start working. And it was very free-for-all. No one really gives you direction. The materials are just there, and we just start helping out however we can. So the project started when they were about
they were young,
to like 13 years old, and they're still creating this project. But I just had to think of what was it that made them start doing it. And I was just thinking of picturing the young boys.
They were all young, right?
Putting all these materials together and recreating the neighborhood that they were living in, and sort of just playing day to day.
You just imagine how their day went. They were hearing the gunshots outside, being inspired. I mean, that's what you said. They were inspired by all the violence outside. Instead of kind of joining that violence, they kind of band together and just kind of made this entire thing by themselves, which I thought was amazing. And they made a whole kind of role-playing game, you said, with that, which was pretty interesting.
It makes me think of how children see what's going on in their neighborhoods and how they interpret it.
Right. You turn something so violent into such a kind of, it's literally a role-playing game. They had fun with it. They had fun with it. So it was pretty interesting when
How a child's play, or like your own little game, came out to be a reality and something you can live with it. It's It's really interesting and it's like wow. Like it makes you see that the things you actually do could go out even more. That you could actually make something out of it, your dreams.
On the buildings, we didn't really paint anything too tragic, right? We kind of had all kinds of artwork in it. Like, I mean, you could see all kinds of messages. We kind of played around with it. You could see a Gino's Pizzeria on one of the buildings. So I guess we had fun with it. It wasn't really something I thought of as too slummy, you know? There wasn't any kind of artwork in there that kind of really pointed towards that direction.
It was really fun to work on like the bricks and just painting them and then later decorate them with like our creativity, whatever we wanted to put on it, as well as them putting in it. It was interesting how they like to put their family's name on it or like friends' name on the bricks to represent them, to show them. It was really interesting. I thought it would be just like things or anything, like anything that we actually had to go with something else, but just putting names or places or anything you like, it was really interesting. I really like that idea. Just put your interest into the bricks and make them your own bricks to like display them for everybody else to see.
I wrote a journey of 1,000 miles. Begins with a single step. It's not my quote though. I found it online, but it really spoke to me, and so I wrote it. Yeah, they started off with just one brick, a single step, and it took them all around the world, and now they're here.
You know, hopefully this art installation stays there for a while, and if it feels nice to actually leave a footprint before I graduate, which I will be doing this year, before I graduate. Feel nice.
It feels great to be part of their team, if only for a few weeks while they're here, and be a part of the experience of recreating their neighborhood.
Yeah.
And now we get to look at it every day.
Right?
As we continue
the rest of the
on
semester
in the
say
semester.
it's us.
Yeah.
That was us.
A estrada da Patel, fala da paixão amarela, botada